The next item I'll show you generates gasps of amazement from my colleagues and peers. This is called the concatenation function, and it can be found in the functions library. So if I hit the formulas tab, and if I go in the text tab, I have the concatenate function over here. This function merges the contents of two cells into a single value. So if we have a look at our spreadsheet, we have the customer ID, the customer name, status, and the revenue from January 2021 till December 2021. Let's say I want to create a new column with the customer ID and customer name. So basically, I want to consolidate these two fields. Now, how do I do that? So if I go in the text tab and select the concatenate function, I get a pop-up with the arguments. So as mentioned, I want to combine the data in the customer ID column with the data in the customer column. But let's say I want to have a bit of a spacing between these two columns. So I can select A4, then I can select a space, and then I want to select the customer name. As you can see, when I select the arguments, the solution gets automatically populated. So this is very helpful as I can dynamically change the formulas. So after one, there is a space, but let's say I also want to add a hyphen. I can go in the text to argument category and also add a hyphen. So this looks much better now. There is a clear partition between the customer ID and the customer name. So let me hit OK, and the customer ID is now automatically populated. Now let's say I want to autofill the rest of the cells in this field as well. So I can just go at the right hand side of the selected cell and double click, and the data is now automatically populated. And in this field, so I have essentially created a new field using the existing data. Just imagine the amount of time we have saved by using the concatenate function. In this dataset, there are over 200 rows of data, and rather than manually going in and typing the customer ID and the customer name, using a simple formula, the data has been consolidated within a minute or so. Now, let's have a look at another useful function when we talk about data analytics. We have just finished our fiscal year 2021, and everyone from the sales team has entered their accounts into a spreadsheet, but no one did a tally of each status. If I select this drop down, I see that there are 4 statuses: leaver, new customer, old customer, and with competitor. So I have these 4 statuses, and I want to, for the 4 statuses, we need to tally these numbers together so that we understand what happened throughout the year. First of all, I will create a new column and I'll call it total, and then I will sum the data together. So let me just do a sum of the entire year, and I just drag the formula down, make this a little bit wider, and I'll also copy the formatting from the previous column. And then on the right hand side, just over here, I want to tally the data by status. So I have 4 statuses. I have old customer, I have new customer, I have leaver, and then the 4th item was with competitor. I'll just type in the data here with competitor. We make this a bit bigger, and then I'll call this column total. So now I want the total per status. So I can use a simple formula in order to achieve that. The formula is called SUMIF. So I'll start by typing equals SUMIF, left parenthesis. So I need to select the subset that is of interest. Remember, again, I need to find the total by status. I can select the entire section and I just drag it down using the CTRL Shift down button of my keyboard. So that's the range that I need. Then I want to pick the criteria that is used to sum the data. So the criteria is the status. So for old customer, it will be cell S4. And then I need to pick the sum range, which is the total. So I select column Q, right parenthesis. Now, before I hit the enter key, please note that this data is dynamic. So if I drag the formula down, the numbers are going to change and I may not get the right calculation by status. So I need to make this data static. And as we discussed before, you can easily do that by hitting the F4 key on your keyboard. You'll have dollar signs that will appear. This can remain dynamic. So as I drag the formula down, the criteria cell address is going to change. S4 will become S5, S6, and so forth. So I can keep this dynamic. And then the sum range, I also make it static by hitting the F4 key. And now I press the enter key. So the total of the old customer is $3.3 million. I drag the formula down, and now I have a tally of new customer, leaver, and with competitor. So if I were to summarize the company's performance in 2021, I can easily tell that the most of the revenue has come from the old customer, and the company really needs to up its game because the revenue coming from new customer is significantly lower, and the company even lost revenue because some customers went with the competitor. Concatenation can help you consolidate various fields in a dataset based on your preferences. The SUMIF formula allows you to do a quick tally based on whether the dataset meets certain criteria and requirements. Both are very powerful tools for finding answers that regular filters cannot provide.
If you're not a subscriber, click down below to subscribe so you get notified about similar videos we upload. To see the full course that this video came from, click over there. And click over there to see more videos from Simon Says It.